Okay, this is a video about the wiring of my VzBot 330 printer. So first and foremost, please look at the wire diagram. I'm not an expert on this stuff. I will just tell you what I did. You should definitely speak to some expert who knows what they're doing, but this is hopefully a reasonable summary to at least put you in the right direction. Okay, so there's three parts essentially of the wiring. So first of all is the mains. Second of all is the 24-volt power supply. For me, that's the one on the left. And then thirdly, there is the 48 volt power supply, which is this one. The mains primarily, you might think, powers the 24 volt and the 48 volt. From which they then power other stuff, as I'll explain in a second. There is actually one caveat. On the Mellow kit, at least, the bed heater is powered directly by the mains also. It is switched by this solid-state relay, which is controlled by the board. So the 24 volts, in turn, powers the board and effectively powers the board. You also, it powers the CPAP. And then from the board then powers the, what does it do? The extruder, I think it might be that one, I'm not sure which, and the Z stepper motor. So 24 volts powers the board. Board does, like most things, powers the Pi as well for the way I've set it up. Does it? Yes, it does. The 48 volt pretty much solely powers the XY steppers, which we'll come to in a second. So how have I set it up? Well, first and foremost, I should say I'm in UK. So our convention is yellow and green for neutral. For Earth. Blue for neutral, brown for line. So I take those three into these blocks, and I've color coded them the same. That one's red not because it's DC, but because it's they didn't have the brown ones in stock. And from these, I then split out to where they're required. So you will see I have an earth. I mean, it's hard to chase it around here because I've kind of been poking them in, but one earth goes to there. A neutral goes to there, to the power supply. A line goes to there, the back of the power supply. Same for the 48 volts. One of the neutrals goes directly to the heater, which I have spliced together with the white heater wires here. The return from that then was also spliced together with the brown wires, the line, which then go into the solid state relay, which is then switched by the bed, which is there, I think. So one set of wires powering the 24 volt. Another set then goes somewhere under here onto the 48 volt. Okay. Right. Now for the 24 volt. So the 24 volt I then send through to I think here in here. So I'm using red and black as the convention of plus and minus. This block then spits out, and you can just about probably follow it. These then map onto the various things on the bed. One exception, however, I think the CPAP fan goes directly off of 24 volts, I think. Just a word of warning, by the way, you will see, or you should see very carefully, there it goes minus, plus, plus, minus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. Be aware. The bed out goes to the solid state relay, I think, and that switches the AC supply for the bed. So that's on my 24 volt block. I have a separate block for 48 volt. So 48 volt comes from here. And then these two, this is actually pretty simple. It's a one-to-one mapping to the stepper motors. So I think it's actually like in a sequence. So for me, it's Y1, X1, Y, X, Y1, X1, Y, X. I think Y1, X1, Y, X is the config that A I'm using, and B is the one that the VzBot config uses. Whatever it is, oh wait, only you can see it. Yeah, so it's not the one that's on the wiring diagram. That's not the same as of publication of this video. That's not the same as the one in the config. You'll notice slightly different to what others do. There's actually like 6 terminals here, 3 negative and 3 positive. I just take one wire off because it's a bit easier for me as a amateur to just, if something goes wrong, just chase one wire through to one place and then hopefully like swap out the wires and stuff. That, oh yes, sorry, earth. So if you set it up like Vez did, these power supplies are directly contacting the backplate, and so that's like you're continuing the earth through all of this. If you have like plastic cases or plastic standoffs or something or other, you need to earth the backplate. So this is actually quite a good place. You could put your earth wire on there, from which the entire chassis then is earthed. There is one exception, of course, which is the general Z-axis stuff. So for this reason, I have sent through this earth wire into the chamber, and then it comes up here and then attaches to I can't quite get the camera in the right position, but there to the that little screw that's on the bed plate. So yeah, all the rest of it is making lots of tiny little connectors and sticking them in the board in the right place. I haven't wired up the chamber fan yet. The Pi, in my case, so it's powered by the board, so this little thing here, and it communicates with the board back via that port, I think, if I remember correctly. Good, hopefully that is helpful to someone. Just to repeat what I said earlier, I'm not an expert. This thing works, it hasn't blown up yet, but you should definitely be absolutely certain that you know what you're doing by looking at the various specs on the boards and double checking wiring diagrams and configs. I hope you found that useful. Thank you very much.